So welcome everybody, and thank you for joining us at short notice. We know that things were a little bit rushed between the closing date and the checking of the applicants and then today's session. So we do know that things have been a little bit rushed, and we apologize for that. So today, because it's the first session and it's the first part of the course, we wanted to just give a briefing about the course. There was a question and answer session, I think it's almost 2 weeks ago now, and that has been recorded and it is available if you want to go back and check what was presented at that question and answer session. So today it's just to make sure that we give you a little bit of information about what's expected, especially for the people who weren't at that question and answer session. Okay, so today it's just to give you a few key points, just the outline of those, and then there is also going to be an opportunity to ask questions. So if you weren't at the question and answer session, or if there's other things that have come up for you, there'll be a chance to ask questions. So we'll have to finish this session by sort of just before 11 so that we can get started with the webinar on time. Okay, so what's expected of people doing the course? So as I said at the Q&A and in the documents that have been circulated, we do expect that participants will attend all the webinars and attend and participate in all the discussion forums. And at those discussion forums, we will ask people, or you can volunteer to do a presentation, or you're also expected to participate in asking questions or answering questions. There's also an expectation that everyone will be involved in either the discussion forums and making a tutorial. And that would be making a video on a particular skill that you have, or to share knowledge in a very specific area. So those are the three expectations, and then we expect that you will keep all your presentations that you've put together, the notes you've made, the assignments you do into a portfolio, and that can be electronic. Some people might want to print them out and make a hard copy. I would suggest electronic might be easier, and then you'll submit that at the end of the course, probably in about September, October next year. So that's what is expected. Now, we do understand that some people will have other commitments when there's a webinar or when there's a discussion forum. So for example, some people have field work and they have to do it. They can't reschedule it. That's fine, we understand that. If you let us know, and then you can watch the webinar or the discussion forum in your own time. They will be recorded. So we do expect you to catch up on that work that may have been missed while you were doing something else. So we are going to be tracking attendance at everything, so just so that we can keep a record of participation in all of these. All right, so, but if you ever stuck with anything, then, you know, you can speak to us. If you can't make it to something, let us know. So Audrey is going to be the main contact person for the course. So she'll be coordinating everything for the course. Okay, so for the assignments, the first assignment will be today at the end of the webinar. And you'll see the kind of things. So today's assignment is very much more paper-based. It's looking at a policy, comparing it to what the manual says, or drafting a policy. And there'll be other assignments like that. But then there'll also be assignments where it's practical work in a collection. So doing a project, whether it's checking ethanol concentrations for a collection and documenting that and adjusting those, whether it's doing a fumigation, so more practical things. So it'll be both. So at the moment, we're thinking that there'll be 15 to 18 assignments given out, but you only need to do 10 of them. So you can't do less than 10. You don't have to do every assignment. And I think that the reason for that is that some assignments will just not be within the scope of work that you do. And then it's just really difficult. And so then you can say, I'm going to skip this one. But then you've got to be able to, you've got to make sure that there are going to be 10 that you do. Okay, and then like I was talking about the contributions to the discussion forums or to the tutorials, everybody will have to do at least 2 of those. So you may be able to do more is always good, but at least 2. And we might need to look at other forms of contributions to count too, just because we've got a lot of people who've registered for the course. Okay, so for the assignments, you can work individually or you can work in a team. And those teams can be within your institution, or you can even form teams from different institutions if you like. So if you feel like if you're the only person doing the course in your institution and you'd really like to work with somebody else or to meet with them and discuss things with them, then set up those links. We can also always help. I think it might be useful for us to provide a list of everyone who's participating, their institution, their role, and their email address, just in case you want to link up with people. Okay, so this is just to recap then quickly. So what's expected: attend the webinars, participate in the discussion forums, be involved in a tutorial, and then keep everything together and submit it as a portfolio. So the assignments, we think that there'll be between 15 and 18 assignments that are set, but each person needs to do 10 of them. So you don't need to do all of them. And then it's 2 contributions, whether it's a discussion forum or a video. Okay, so for the assignments, you can work individually or in a team. So teams can be within an institution or from different institutions. And I think we need to help people link up across institutions if necessary. If you're working in a team, you will need to work together. So you can't dish out parts of an assignment and then not talk to each other until the end. It will mean that you're going to have to interact and discuss and meet. If you meet physically, please remember social distancing, hand sanitizer, masks, ventilation, if possible, meet outside. But there is an option to meet up virtually. I hope that people do have access to Teams or Zoom for small meetings, so you can do that. In the team assignments, you'll need to say, these were members of the team, this is what we did as a team. If there were individual bits, then say what people contributed. And then finally, we can organize additional workshops if necessary. So either open to all or with a group or institution. So if there's ever an assignment and people are confused or don't know how to do it, then you can let Audrey know and we'll set up a special workshop for it to work through things with you. So the schedule, we do have the schedule. We probably will finish the contact sessions in May next year, May or June. And then the portfolios will be submitted in September, October. So this month we've got today's webinar. Next week we've got a discussion forum on ethics. And then in June, we've got another webinar on collection documentation. And in June, we'll also have a discussion forum on that. So just so that you know, this kind of pattern of sessions we will be following. It'll break down a little bit in December. We'll probably have less in December and January. I think I've only put one session in December and one in January because we know people go on holiday. So just some points about participation. So we got about 74 applications, I think, maybe 75. And we really struggled to make decision about who to exclude. So people who had applied and they don't work in natural science collections, those were easy enough. There weren't many of those. And the difficulties were people who are interns or who are on contract and the contract is ending during the course, or if they're postgraduate students who are not really employed or working in a collection. So those were, we had some concerns, but we thought that we'll leave it up to that group to see how they can make a plan to finish the course. So if they finish before the end of the course with their contract or their project, they'll need to figure out how to do the assignments and how to actually participate in any webinars and discussion groups. So just you have to be aware that, you know, we actually can't, because the hub team are not in a collection, we can't help you to be in a collection. So if your contract ends and that's it, you're no longer allowed back into the institution where you were, then we are not going to be able to help you with getting back. So it's just be aware of that. All right, so at the moment we think that there's 70 people who have registered for the course. It's much more than we thought would, but we do welcome everybody. We're very pleased that there's so much interest in the course. And we think that it could be a really good opportunity to strengthen the, and broaden the network of people working in the collections. I think it's a great opportunity to meet others and to interact with them. You know, you'll learn from each other like much better than with fewer participants. So that's great. All right, I think we can take any questions now.